Hey, I'm Barbara Kennedy, and I'm really excited to tell you about how I met Jesus and my journey of faith as the short story. So you can tell I'm not a kid anymore. It was a long time ago when I first started to go to church. That was just part of who I was growing up. But originally, I knew things like God is real, Jesus is his son. The church that we went to did talk about him with the Easter story, dying and rising again, but I really didn't understand why he did that for a long time. And sometimes I would hear another message from different places that always drew me, but I just really was interested in it, but I didn't understand it for a long, long time. And the different message that I heard was that it wasn't about me being a good little girl or a good person. It was really about that God loved me so much that he took his son and he sent him here to earth, and that Jesus had to die because of the things that I've done in my life, that I'm not perfect. So for a long time, when I would hear this message, I would raise my hand, because a lot of times people talk about, raise your hand if you want to get in on this deal. So I would raise my hand because I wanted that deal. But in my mind, when I prayed, I said, God, I want to have a relationship with you, and I'll be a good little girl. And that would be the basis for it. So finally, after hearing this many times, there was sort of a light that went on in my head. And I realized that my parents loved me, and they loved me regardless of my performance. They loved me all the time unconditionally. And I began to realize that that was actually the kind of love that God was talking about when he talked about that he loved the world so much that he sent his son. And at that time, when I was about 13 years old, after 3 weeks of different camps that had messages of that for a week long at a time, I finally understood. And when I raised my hand, I understood that it wasn't about me, that it was all about Jesus, and that he loved me very much. It wasn't about being good, it was about being perfect, and I could never be perfect. But Jesus was perfect for me, and that I needed that. And so I was changed. And interestingly, when I came back from school that year, a lot of people asked, like, gosh, you just seem really different. What is this thing that's different about you? And I was actually very excited to tell my friends and family about these changes. And not everything in me changed overnight, and I certainly didn't have a perfect life after that. I had a lot of things in my life that were difficult, and a lot of times that I messed up sometimes really big time. But God still loves me. He knows everything about me in great detail, more than I even can admit to myself about what I am. And yet he still loves me, and he sent Jesus for me. And one of the things I would like for other people to know is I'm not an especially amazing person. I'm not the most evil person either, but I'm not perfect. And I'm pretty sure that nobody else is either. And that this deal that God has provided for us, because he loves us so much, is something I would like everybody to have, and that it applies to all of us, no matter who we are. So I'd like you to, when you see me, ask me questions about this, because this is an exciting part of my life, and I hope that you would see it in my life, not just through my words, but through how I act, and I'd like it to change your life too. So thanks.